Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And an Ace of Swords to begin. This is a lot of certainty, a lot of clarity. This is an activation of our higher mind, our higher perception. I think that a lot of you are going through a very intense period of spiritual activation right now. I think this is kind of an awakening, an enlightening, right? Let's put it into some context. Let's see what might be going on. It could be about an emotional issue. It could be about the way in which your emotions are flowing in your life, okay? So perhaps we're looking for a direction that some of this emotional energy is meant to flow towards. See, now we got a 4 and a 5. So usually, I don't say usually, but a lot of the time, a spiritual experience, a spiritual kind of activation has some symptoms of emotionality, right? It very often will set in motion a kind of a thawing out of a lot of emotional energy that has been kind of frozen in our lives, right? It really gets things moving. And so during a spiritual kind of period of enlightenment like this, and see that we've got the Sun card as well, during a period of spiritual enlightenment, activation, very often we will have a lot of mixed emotions, a lot of feelings kind of come to the surface, a lot of memories, and we see the 5 of Swords there. So it's the mental, emotional energy that really starts to kind of wreak havoc on our lives sometimes, and in some ways. So I feel like that might be part of the process for a lot of you right now. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're going to set it down right here. We're going to put Kevin, a.k.a. Mr. Bates, right there on top. Now, if anyone knows why that frog is called Kevin, a.k.a. Mr. Bates, it's from 2 of my very favorite shows that I've ever seen on television. American programs. Well, actually, one's a British program, actually. And that's a hint for you. But that card's going to tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during the show you feel like you know what that card is or you have a hunch, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. I bet a lot of you will get it right this time. Yeah. Well, let's look around the room. We've got Major Arcana Energy, Star card. And you know what? We've got the Sun card. You know, they're both stars. I don't know if you knew that. The Sun is our personal star. It is us having these lofty goals, having this kind of idea that the self or the spirit or the life or who we are or our purpose, our destiny, our goals, something out there, something that's far away, something that's kind of just outside of our reach. But then the Sun, well, that's the star. That's the closest thing to us. It's as close as we could get to the Sun, right? To the star. Any closer than this, and we can't exist, right? This is the sweet spot. This is what I don't know what do they call it, the green zone or something, where it's just that perfect distance from the Sun, that where life can flourish. It's like that in a spiritual way too. I think anything closer than this will cause too much disruption in our life, and any further away will feel cold and distant and dark, right? So I feel like you're approaching your spiritual self. You're approaching the divine connection. You're getting closer to your goals, closer to your dreams. So we've got our major arcana. We have the Hanged Man too. And the Hanged Man is really this kind of acceptance of all of the different ways that this water flows. The mental, emotional energy that is, it's the heart and the mind. And very often, and I say this a lot with, I think a lot of the time with the Aquarius readings, and Capricorn too, seem to have a very strong earth-fire connection, right? Fire to earth is that circuit, that spiritual circuit of creation, from heaven to earth, from spirit to matter, from idea to implementation, from will to action, from idea to implementation, right? It's that act of creation. And what usually interrupts the flow of that spiritual electrical circuit, water and air, right? Feeling and thinking, our heart and our mind. And I feel like that's kind of the process that we're in now, is trying to clear out a lot of negative mental, emotional energy so that we have that perfect channel to spirit in our lives, working in our lives in a very physical, action-oriented, progress-oriented way. Yeah. So I feel like that's what we're doing. We're kind of clearing out the heart and the mind, purifying it in a way. And the Hanged Man really is a lot of this kind of purifying energy. The Hanged Man is very much oriented toward purification, kind of accepting the way things are in a sense that we're not wrestling with the process. We're not trying to fight against it. We're accepting the way things are going, and we understand that this movement, the fives are about movement. The movement of this energy is the necessary step. It is the most difficult, and that's why spiritual activations like this are sort of disruptive. They challenge our thoughts and our feelings, our beliefs, our values, right? So anyway, the Ace of Swords, or beginning at the beginning. This is clarity, this is certainty. Even if we're talking about the spiritual activation, this is really the conscious awareness that you have a path, you have a goal, you have a destiny, and this is the mind becoming enlightened. It is the process of enlightening the mind to get the clarity about where we're going and what we're doing. And where we're going and what we're doing is, directly into this Ace of Pentacles here, but really it's the Four of Wands that we see here in the environment. Because this is us wanting that fire, wanting that spiritual connection, that spiritual energy, right? Manifested in the realm of the four elements, right? Four of Wands. So this is us purifying ourselves so that the spirit can operate in matter, so that our will can reach the world of action, so that our impulses can reach behavior, so that our ideas can be implemented, and that our inspiration can be implemented in our lives, right? And our spiritual will. And you don't have to be a spiritual person. You don't have to be a religious person by any means. You can be a strict materialist, strictly this kind of scientific mind if you want. But you understand how you could be, completely psychologically oriented, where it is impulse to behavior. And we're trying to clear out our thoughts and feelings that sometimes inhibit or confuse the actions that we take in the real world, right? We can look at it spiritually, religiously, or very practically, very scientifically, very psychologically. It doesn't really matter, right? The point is, right? The point is that we know what we want to do. We know the process that it's going to require, and we know kind of the end result of it. We know what we want, and we know how to get there. And this, I think for some of you is very specific, like you know exactly what business you want, what job you want, or what kind of life you want, what kind of family, what kind of partner you're looking for, whatever it might be. All of these things, right? You are certain. There's no doubts about that. The five of Swords that we have, it's not doubts about what you want. It's doubts about well, believing in yourself. It's doubts about the things that you have trusted in the past. It may be questions about the nature of reality, the relationship of with spirit and with the universe. It's just kind of these deeper questions, I think, that you're asking yourself. I think a lot of you have a strong connection to water. I'm getting this almost a feeling more than a vision of being like under a waterfall or in a waterfall. And to me, it's got that kind of cleansing feeling. It's like we're standing under the water and it's just kind of pouring over. I guess we could be in the shower. I don't know. But I'm getting that cascading water feeling. And I don't know if that's something that you find to be very therapeutic and very healing, or if you have a certain memory of that kind of a waterfall in like a natural setting or a river or something like that. We have got a lot of water in the reading, right? We've got the Five of Cups. That water is flowing. And this is the breaking up of a lot of these kind of solid emotional issues that we have, right? And I think they're coming through the form of memories too. With Five of Swords, kind of the movement of the movement of the mind in that way, right? Kind of churning up a lot of old stuff. Yeah, a lot of history. A lot of stuff from your past has kind of been locked away. Okay? And I think that what the Hanged Man is really talking about here is that we have to allow this to be the process. I think there's a lot of stuff going on internally with you. And it may be with the Ace of Pentacles in the future position that we haven't really started on this journey yet, or we feel like we haven't really broken ground. I haven't bought the thing yet. I haven't made the first move. I haven't done the first practical step to get where I want to go. But that's not true. We're doing a lot of internal, below the surface kind of work, and I think that's why we've got that star down beneath the surface. There seems to be a connection with a younger male energy in your life, and I don't know if that's someone that has passed or if that's somebody that is currently in your life now, but I feel like there's a strong emotional connection there. Maybe there's something to do with these memories and these emotions that are kind of frozen and solidified, something that we have to process through. I don't know if they have something with the front of their head that happened to them, or I'm thinking maybe they fell or something like that. Sometimes these details come in for, I think, just specific people that are watching, but it's a way of validating some of the energy that we're in, and for us to really tune into the messages that are coming through. Let's talk about this star card. Yeah. This is the star. This is your hopes and dreams. This is everything that you've kind of ever felt like you've wanted in your life. And again, with the star card, it's kind of an energy that's far away, right? It's not something that perhaps you ever thought would really be for you, or something that maybe you never really thought that you would be able to attain these sorts of things. But now I think you're starting to realize, especially with the Ace of Swords here, that there is a way, there is a plan, there is a way to get closer to this kind of depth of experience, the connection with spirit, the connection with your own sense of destiny. And it is something that can be front and center in your life. I think some of you are making this transition into a more spiritual life. Yeah. Trying to get closer to the real meaning of your existence and exploring these deeper questions, But the star card is very, very powerful with that, because I think you've always had this sense of strangeness, this sense of there's something beyond the physical world here. And I think when you were a kid, even maybe you just have a recurring dream. You'd have visions. You'd have these daydreams that were sort of like you were able to. It feels like you were looking at yourself from a higher perspective, like a third person point of view. Kind of like when you were a kid, you used to leave your body, and you used to look down on what you're doing. And so it gave you this sense when you were a kid that you were different than other kids. It gave you this kind of almost this certainty that there was something else out there, something else just beyond the visible physical world, something that you wanted to just reach out and touch, but it's beyond the senses, it's beyond this dimension, right? And I think as we get older, we start to kind of lock those things away, and we start to feel like, yeah, that's, I still believe that, and, as an adult, but it feels like it's a distant thing. It feels like it's just kind of a childhood fantasy sort of thing. But I wonder if, with some of you who have lost this younger male energy, if we're starting to kind of feel like, no, this isn't something out of reach. This isn't something that we just kind of, as we get older, we push it away, or don't have time for it or whatever. No, this is something that should be the primary function of our existence. And there's the Seven of Wands up top here. This is something that is absolutely worth fighting for. This is kind of, in some ways, the most important thing we can do in our lives is connect. Yeah, connect with ourselves, with spirit, connect with what is beyond the physical senses. Yeah. And so we've got the fives here, which I think are kind of representative of that. The basic five senses, you're connecting with that sixth sense. Yeah. And I like that we have the five here, but we're adding the one. So to me, it is kind of like the activation of this sixth sense. It is getting closer and closer to the source of all light and life and love, in the universe. And to me, it's a real spiritual experience. And I think even with the star energy, I think those of you that are more scientifically minded, more like left brain or logical thinking or more materialists, I think you still have that nagging feeling that there's just something here that science can't explain, or that science is just now starting to keep up or to catch up with the kind of mystic knowledge, from the ancients. But I think it's that undeniable kind of mystery of life, and I think it's starting to attract you more and more and demand more and more of your attention. And with the Seven of Wands, it really does feel like this is something worth fighting for. Even though it might be this kind of lifelong struggle that, are we ever really going to succeed? But it doesn't matter. It's that awakening, it's that enlightening, it's that ascension that is worth all of the work, right? Some of you have a connection with some sort of stained glass, like windows, either in your house or grandparents' house, or maybe in a church setting when you were younger. I just see you looking out the stained glass window, and how, depending on which little frame you would look through, the world would be a different color, I'm getting that kind of a memory here, which is really, really kind of a fun one. But the future position, let's get back on track. The Ace of Pentacles. I think you are planning your first step in this kind of new enlightened direction. And I think that this is really kind of it's the beginning, but it's also the end result of a lot of this interior work. This is the first step out in the world, kind of in your new, I was going to say in your new body, in your new frame of mind, in your new body of knowledge, so to speak, with your new senses. Yeah. So the ace, to me, to a lot of readers, the aces will be the beginning, right? This is the first step. This is the beginning of a new path for you. But to me, this is kind of also the summit, right, of the mountain. If we think of a pyramid, it's wide at the base and it gets narrow as we go. So the 10s are at the bottom. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we get to the ace. We get to the summit. I think that in some ways, you're getting to the very peak of physical existence, and you're able to touch the sky. You get to I think in a lot of ways, that's why mountains were such a spiritual place, even now, but throughout history. Because it's the highest peak. It's that one pointedness that you get to that we feel like we can kind of touch the sky, that we can reach into heaven from the top of this mountain. And it kind of looks like that's what the star is doing, right? Reaching up into heaven and pulling that starlight down into your life. So this is a very symbolic set of energies here, but I think it's also very practical for you. And what I mean is, I think that you have, you're doing this internal work, and I think you're getting to a very, almost the peak of it, right? And so it could be really this, a deepening religious practice for some of you, a deeper spiritual practice, deeper meditation. I really feel like you're reaching the summit of this internal experience, and you're ready to draw that spiritual energy down from the heavens and implement it into your life. See, the star is pulling that energy down from the heavens and pouring it out onto the earth, right? But see, this doesn't look like the earth. This looks like a strange new world, right? And it is, because you're looking at the world through a different set of lenses. Or maybe the scales have fallen and you're looking at things the way it really, the way they really are, or as close as we can get to to reality. But it doesn't look like the typical earth, right? It looks like a strange land. And I think it's because you are looking at the world through a kind of new pair of eyes. Yeah. But you're taking the spiritual energy and you're letting it flow out into your life. The Spirit is working through you. And I'm not trying to preach. I feel like this is, we could talk about this completely scientifically, and more logically or psychologically. But I think that you are tapping into those sources of creativity, those sources of like the higher mental functions, and you're finding ways now that you're going to implement this into your life, into your business, career, your creative pursuits, your relationships, your health, your family life, your financial life, all of it. Because the Ace of Pentacles, if we think of this as the next beginning, the new beginning, this is the seed from which grows the tree of life. Now, the earth energy, this seed does not just contain earth energy. It's not just physical, material, mechanical stuff. The earth is the vessel for the air, the water, and the fire, right? All of the other elements are contained within the earth cards. So if we use this properly, this is kind of taking a spiritual idea and manifesting it in the physical world. It's kind of, for those, of the Christian faith, I think this will really kind of hit home for you. I do feel like some of you out there have a very cherished, maybe crucifix, maybe a rosary, but a religious symbol or icon that you keep with you. And I think that it might be even like a pendant or a medallion. Maybe it's not a crucifix. Maybe it's one of those, like a medallion of one of the saints. But I feel like there's something like that you do cherish. And even those of you that are more scientific minded, more psychological, more materially oriented, I think you still have that. I think that maybe you don't wear it every day, that it's something that you keep in your dresser, but it's still there. I think you should go and find it. And I think you should look at it and maybe choose to keep it with you for a few days and see if it activates anything in you, And I think there is power in those kinds of objects, but I think it's up to us to really activate the power in those kinds of objects, right? As talismans in a way. And I see the Ace of Pentacles as being a sort of talisman card generally. Okay, we're going to move over to the path of the serpent now, and as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, Aquarius, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost you anything. And leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want to show YouTube that our community is worldwide. Yeah, and I like to think we have a very supportive community here. I like to think of this as kind of a, no judgment kind of zone where it's very supportive. I think we have people from many different faiths, many different beliefs, many different customs and cultures, and I love that, and I want to keep that going. So if you want to give a shout out to where you're from, please do. I would love to hear from you. So the Sun card, we talked about the Sun a little bit there, and I do feel for some of you there is going to be this younger male energy. I'm getting an R name or an R sound like Rachel, Robert. It feels like a masculine energy, but that doesn't necessarily equate to gender, okay? So it could be an R name. But I also feel like this is really you feeling that you're the closest to spirit that you've ever been before, right? And spirit within, but also spirit without. I think that this is really, an energy that allows you to appreciate the natural world. I think that you, doesn't matter what the weather's like, you can go outside and you can just, if it's cold and snowing, you can feel the magic and the love. If it's hot and if it's sweltering and humid out, you feel the love. You feel the kind of power that's coming from the natural world, right? I think you have this ability to find spirit in everything. I almost wonder if the mystery card's going to be the Page of Pentacles or the Page of Cups, maybe, because I feel like you're learning that this spiritual energy is in everything, is behind everything, is above us and in us and flowing all around us. And this, I think, is giving you a deeper sense of your own destiny, your own orbit, your own trajectory in life. Yeah. And and really we see the next card, the Four of Wands, as being the implementation of that. Okay? And who in your family is the heavy drinker? I think I got this in the last Aquarius reading too. Someone in your family is known for their drinking, or they have a very specific beverage that they would drink. It doesn't even have to be alcoholic, really. I just feel like there's one certain kind of drink that either you or someone close to you will only drink, right? Like a certain brand or a certain type of beverage. Anyway, the Four of Wands is one of those cards that says we kind of like what we like. We like to surround ourselves with those things that we feel a natural draw to, right? This is Venus in Aries after all. So it's kind of like we're always seeking to manifest those things that mean the most to us, that feel the best to us, right? This is the idea that you may not really mind if it's snowing or if it's swelteringly hot. You can find the magic, you can find the spirit and the love in either place, but you prefer one or the other, right? I think you're the kind of person that maybe prefers beaches, sunny days, and nice, cool pools to swim in, you know? I think your close friend when you were a kid had a pool. I don't think you had one, but I think your friend did. And that was the friend that you always wanted to go see and spend the night and go and hang out with. Because we like what we like. And we appreciate those people more that we feel are very much like us. Yeah. But at the same time, we're open to expanding on that. You don't just like warm days and swimming pools, you know. You're learning to appreciate the snow and maybe skiing, or, you know, the snow is great because you can stay inside with your favorite drink and a fire going in the fireplace. So there's this appreciation of a lot more. We're expanding, and that's part of the sun too, is that we're not limited to just one ray of light. Our soul, our self, can take in everything, can connect with everything. There are infinite rays of light coming off of this ball of fire, right? And I think everything that we like, everything that we do, everything that we focus our attention on is just one ray of light. So if you think about that, then there is infinite possibilities for experience in our life. Yeah, infinite possibilities. And I think really this, you know, that's why the ace is kind of the beginning and the end of things, because this is just one possibility, but it's also the seed of every single possibility. This is the whole tree of life, of existence, you know. Anyway, the Hanged Man here, I think that this is the obstacle. And this is us kind of knowing that there's a moment where the time is right for us to get out into the world and take this kind of action. I think there's a lot of this internal work that you're doing. And I think we kind of have to finish that. It's something that we're not really trying to rush, right? Because the Hanged Man reminds us that the suspending our physical actions doesn't mean we're doing nothing, right? It doesn't mean we're doing nothing. There's a focus on the internal for you, a focus on the deep kind of spiritual, kind of behind the scenes work for you. But then there will be that shift. And if we look at it like this is deep space and this is the focused solar energy. This is behind the scenes and this is center stage in the spotlight, right? So we see that there's kind of, there's a time and place for both of these energies, yeah. And of course, we've got the Five of Swords, which we talked about. A lot of these memories and stuff that are going to be coming to you and being activated and having to kind of process a lot of stuff from the past, a lot of our feelings, a lot of our beliefs, a lot of the limitations, a lot of the things that we thought we understood about life. I think we're kind of having a bit of a realization that we don't really understand what we thought we did, or that what we know is nothing compared to what we don't know, right? So we're understanding our own smallness, putting everything into perspective. At the same time, I feel like you are larger than life. You are the center of the universe, and you are always expanding in your experience. But at the same time, we're still at the very beginning. We're still really little, you know. We're the kind of the big, we are the universe, we are the spirit, but at the same time, we're just these little tiny, organic, carbon-based life forms on this little ball of dirt in the universe. So we can have both of these kind of beliefs at the same time. Let's look at the mystery card, though. Let's see. This is really turning out to be quite a fun bonus reading for you. It's not your regularly scheduled reading. This is one of your bonus readings. I'm happy that we did it. I think there's a lot for us to talk about here, and it's been fun. Maybe it didn't have that much of a structure or logical, sequential order to it, but I think it was a good one. As far as the mystery card goes, though, I don't know. I mean, we've got our fire, we've got water, we've got air, we've got a little bit of earth, we've got our 1, 2, 3 major arcana. We don't really need anything else. So what do we want? Well, what we want are desires. 6 of Cups, 9 of Cups, 3 of Cups would be cool. Those are my guesses. If you have a guess, put it down in the comments. Let's check it out. Oh, well, it's a 7 of Pentacles. Okay. So we're taking this Ace of Pentacles and we're cultivating it. Then the time will come for us to put our efforts, put all of this kind of internal work that we've done into practical use. And for you, it's not really about the fruits, right? We want what we want. And we said with the mystery card, what is it that you desire? What is it that you want to do? I think in some ways you just want to feel like you have a purpose. You want to feel like your talents are being put to good use. You want to feel like you're useful. You want to feel like you're contributing something, that you're doing something. You don't necessarily care. I mean, of course, we need the rewards. We have to eat the fruit, We've got to take care of ourselves. We need money. We need clothes and shelter and all this stuff. We have desires, right? But I think deep down, the real desire that we have is to be of service, is to be useful, is to have something to do, and to do it well, and to feel 7 of Pentacles, to feel appreciated, to feel necessary, to feel needed. Yeah. So we want to work and build and cultivate. The rewards will come, but that's not why we're doing it. Yeah. I like it. I like it very much. And I think it's with this attitude that you will find that you get the most rewards. It's when you're not focused on the paycheck. You're not focused on the rewards, the fruits of your labor. You're focused on doing the best job that you can and being, a valuable part of the grand plan, And I think it's with that attitude that you end up getting the most out of it anyway. That you're going to get the most rewards from it, but we're not overly concerned with it. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner, or there's one down in the video description. New readings for Aquarius, typically Thursday and Sunday, right? 6 a.m. Chicago time. But I'm here every day, so just you can come on back, see me again tomorrow and the next day and every day. Yeah, there's room. There's plenty of room. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment for me. Let me know how you're doing. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.